Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Oakland Raiders and the Miami Dolphins.
Get ready.
Fake to Jacobs. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jerome Baker in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Another try after the first down sack. Carr. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Jerome Baker picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game. And now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. That's pulled in at the 32. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Used to have a coach just tell us all the time, those scouting reports aren't just to use up paper, guys. Well, nowadays, we're watching a computer screen, right? They scouted this team very well. Know that they like to use the running backs in the passing game. They covered that play successfully.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He'll rifle this one deep right. It's caught at the 10. And he's going to have this down deep into Oakland territory. It's a big play there for Miami. 45 yards. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Looking to throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Maurice Hurst able to record his 5th sack of the season.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So 1st down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. From 13 yards out. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. In our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jerome Baker able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now Carr on the bootleg. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Jerome Baker. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them win.
And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Now this one is running back out of the backfield. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
2nd and 6. Eluding the pressure right. And he's got it. 16 yards, a first down.
Here we go. And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry?
And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. It's their quarterback with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback.
Let's go!
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jerome Baker in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
False start, offense.
That's on the big guard, Gabe Jackson. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. To throw his Carr. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Jerome Baker in there for the 7th time in this game alone, and that ties him with a late Derek Thomas for the most sacks ever in a single game. To throw its Carr, and the pressure gets to him again. Jerome Baker in there yet again. They just cannot block him. He now has 8 sacks, and that is a new single-game record.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely he's been on constant duress this entire game.
Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
We got this.
Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Well, it's looking like another 3-and-out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
Taking it about the 16. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked up by Garyon Conley. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. On 2nd down, Jacobs. The football comes out. Jacobs lost it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Carr, and that's complete. It's Sims. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. 2nd down pass play got them 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of the season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Going for the deep ball. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw. Flush to his right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Flushed out right. And the Raiders have got him. Maurice Hurst in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Escaping the pressure right. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 47. Going up top. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. On play action, it's Carr. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he'll be marked down deep on Miami's side of the field. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be because...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jerome Baker. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. We'll get an update when we come back to Miami. Carr now on 3rd and goal. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Deion Sims, his first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders get a score closer.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And the lead is down to 20. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Raiders pick it up. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They're right back out there after watching the fumble go the other way. Still in control of this game, but that needs to serve as a wake-up call because they're not in the clear yet.
No, the message.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Eluding the pressure right. Going right side here, and that's complete. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Number 53. Not 53. Pick it up. Check 15. Check it out.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And that will be incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. Back onto the field now comes the wideout Antonio Brown. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
Carr now to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Sims. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Here's Carr. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Jerome Baker just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Working from the gun, it's Carr. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. And the kick by Elliott is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll throw now on the final play. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And the Raiders pick it up. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. And all of a sudden, we've got a ball game. They get the touchdown, then on the kickoff, they get another touchdown, picking up the fumble, taking it to the house in just a matter of moments. 2 quick scores, Charles.
Every time we start to neglect special teams and big plays that occur off of them, something like this happens that reminds us we've got ourselves a game now.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley. So, my goodness, I wouldn't have thought this possible not too long ago, but that turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the second half. I just wonder on the other side of the field where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Raiders have taken the lead. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go.
Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's likely still kicking himself from the interception last drive that wound up leading to a go-ahead score.
And he's going to assume all that came with that one, all right? That's all on him, but he also knows he's got to erase it from his mind to get back out there. This drive, very important.
Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll keep it on the ground. Tyson. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. He'll drop to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. Flushed out right. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Kyle Van Noy. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed a quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
Well, he's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. call it no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a third and about 3 to go. Now Carr, caught outright by Renfro. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be 4th down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
P.J. Hall there to make the tackle. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. They'll try and throw for it here. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down. They'll set up a throw. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. They'll try the left side. Tyson. It appears they'll be a few inches short, so 9 yards on the gain officially, and it'll be 3rd down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
Milage. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Give him the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Escaping the pressure right. Throwing right, and that's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Maurice Hurst. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And they're going to speed things up here. They're going to look to throw. Flush to his right. He may try and run. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Raiders have recovered. Back now in Miami. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Jacobs. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Throwing his car on third down. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jerome Baker with a big-time sack on third down. It's a loss of 7.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
51 yards on the punt there. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Carl Joseph. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
You see me out here? That's right.
Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Jerome Baker. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And he's going to go down again. Jerome Baker dropping him for the 2nd straight play. Might want to think about blocking him here on 3rd down. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Here's Carr to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Jerome Baker. That's now back-to-back sacks, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? 3rd and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
This was still going to be a one-score game either way, but still, that's a potentially harmful miss here in the 4th.
It certainly is, because if you consider that now if they give up a touchdown, they give up the lead. So he might be getting the side-eye by the defenders coming out on the field now as he goes back to the bench after that miss.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. A gain there of 21 yards.
Here we go.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Flushed out right. High throw, but the catch is made. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you...
And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins are going to jump back in front. He's giving him a little jolt. Just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
We got this.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Carr now on 1st down. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Jerome Baker. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Raekwon McMillan. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Carr. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jerome Baker, the offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head and that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
Checking in on Houston. It's in the 4th quarter there. And the Texans have scored. That one's been interesting as they retake the lead. Deshaun Watson, he's had his way out there so far. He's up over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdown strikes too. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run on 1st down. Tyson. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. Escaping the pressure right. And he slides to avoid the hit. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw here. Oh, no, he lost the football. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll set up to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Going to throw right side here. Complete. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. They get one more as the extra point's up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So Derek Carr in the offense, down by 10, a minute 38 to go. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery, but first things first. 1st and 10. The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
This will be caught inside the 10. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Back-to-back plays of right around 30 yards, and the field position has totally been flipped. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from the 1. To throw his Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jerome Baker in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Carr going to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
And the Dolphins are indeed going to get this, and that should all but do it. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking.